for an NFL team to take every female team in their state, like their largest team, and to just back them, to give them $2 million as a write-off would be humongous and huge for the women athletes. Even if you paid me $20,000 for that 8-game season, that's decent, because all of us are working moms, full-time employed. You talk about from doctors, lawyers, we had state troopers on our team, paramedics, like, you know, we had everything you think of, undertakers. They was on the team. So we're coming from full work, rolling a big football bag with heels on, clank, 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 a suit. You know, you get in there, boom, 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 change. Game time is, I don't know.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to KROSS BARZ, where we discuss interesting topics with alternative perspective. I'm your co-host, Big O, and I have with me today.
And you got Tanae in the building with our special, beautiful guest, Miss Ciara Chic Kimbrough. Give it up for Ciara. Yes. Ciara is got a milestone on KROSS BARZ. You know why? This is our first female athlete on KROSS BARZ.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got a point.
Female athlete.
First female athlete. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got a point. Never athlete. Wow.
Nope.
That's deep. Okay. Yeah, I have a plethora of questions, Miss Kimbrough. First, is your middle name really Chick? Oh, that's something.
And that's my maiden name.
Chick.
So it must know my government, Ciara Latoya Chic Kimbrough.
Mother freaker. Man, I would have kept all that right there. Nah.
Yeah, now my middle name really is Chick, though. Now, yeah, my maiden name is
we went with Miss Chick. All through life, you was known as Miss Chick. Woo, that's nice right there.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel it. Okay. So now, wait a minute. Okay. Because you're athlete, then you just said your name got changed, so that means you got married. How long you been married? Let's go there.
7 years.
7 years. Hold on.
Welcome to the work.
Yeah.
All right. It ain't harder than football. Is it harder than football? It might be harder than football.
Yeah, it is.
I played football, I've been married, and I have more injuries in marriage. So definitely much more difficult. So now, wait a minute. Let's go to the beginning, all right? Because I'm gonna wait for some more questions to come back, but let's walk us through this process, what we call life. All right. So where are you originally from?
Rand, West Virginia.
What in the hell? Okay.
Rand.
So
you watch your mouth. Oh, there you go.
Eddie started turning up kind of funny, didn't you?
Listen. I ain't met a normal one from there yet. So just.
You better watch it, buddy. Let's watch it.
We not normal, but we're good different. That's all.
That's what we see.
Bars.
I like that. Bars on that.
There you go.
See,
there you go.
Because you admit it. She you know what I mean? Tanae, she trying to front like she's normal. And we all know she ain't normal.
I am normal.
What is normal?
Normal? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You
so,
normal?
Yeah. Me? Nah, I've been
You'll
different
see.
all
Let's
my
just
life.
keep the interview going.
Let's keep it going. So, yeah, we keep it going. So, Rand, North Carolina, West Virginia. All right, West Virginia. Okay. How many brothers and sisters, mom, dad, kind of family life, country, rural? Well, we know what Rand is. Rand is like, ghetto hood with a little bit of country mixed in. I guess, right?
That's fine,
yeah.
Oh,
God. Okay. All right. So you had the fried bologna and cheese sandwiches. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The red string and all in the middle.
All right. I got you. Okay. All right.
X in the middle. Got to put the X in the middle.
So now we growing up. All right. So at a young age, are you a tomboy or are you a girly girl? Like you had the dresses with the frizz?
No dresses. What? None.
Mom could get you a dress?
Mom said I had to wear a bra in 6th grade. I said I have to wear a what?
Oh, man. Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. So now we moving along. Okay. You get to high school. Okay. What was the sport? Because now you're an athlete. What was your sport of choice?
I actually started running at the age of 11. I was malnourished and too busy, I should say. That's a nice way of putting it. I was busy. So my mother put me in track.
Okay.
And because I was still mouthy at practice, they decided it's like, oh, you want to run your mouth? And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh, you could be a middle. I was like a middle distance runner. So they're like, well, you're running 800. I was like, well, how many laps is that? 2. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you see my face like, oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
died running the 400, so.
Then we got down to the 400 and the 200. And then by high school, I was still running track. But at that time, I decided to switch. I was like, okay, I need to do something in the fall. So I picked up soccer my junior year of high school. So I played on the co-ed team at DuPont with boys. And I just was out there just running. I couldn't dribble. I was fast forward. They just passed me the ball. I'll get it down there. Just whatever. Me and the goalie. Me and the fullback. It's fine. And so from that, after I made that transition with soccer and then track, and then also doing 2-a-day, still running club track. I ran for Capital City Striders. Whoop, whoop. And we produced a lot of athletes, a lot. Randy, once upon a time, ran Capital City Striders with me. I used to get on his last nerve because, of course, we're from the same neighborhood. So I'm like, Randy, shut up, little chick. Shut up, little chick. That's all I got. So, but yeah, that track club, I think, molded me into the adult I am today, the type of athlete that I've always trained to be, even going on to college and post-college. So yeah, that's what it looked like. So high school for me was soccer and track.
Okay.
And
for people who don't know what Capital City Striders are, or they may listen to KROSS BARZ, can you just give it a little bit more detail of what Capital Striders was in the city of West Virginia?
Yeah, so Capital City Striders is a track and field club based in Charleston, West Virginia. We would have kids in the club from ages 6 to 18. They would then take us to different track meets. We would compete statewide, regionally, then nationally. And we produced a lot of national medaling athletes at the national level. We always placed in the 4x800 meter relay. So that was our bread and butter, our middle distance and our field events. So you have little kids, you know, that you're there, you're with the coaching, you're learning discipline very early. Hats off to those coaches. I don't know how they did it with so many kids from the inner city and so many different circumstances and backgrounds, because some kids didn't have that. Some kids had the full package. Some kids didn't, you know, some kids were adopted. So it was really cool to have all of that in one, and we were always a family. So if you was like, oh, I ran Capital City Striders, you're like, what? And it's just like kind of boom, you family. Even if we ran different years, like we had the same coaches. So it was a beautiful track club, you know, got a chance to see us as kids, especially kids from Rand or West Side of Charleston or anywhere. We had a chance to leave West Virginia at a young age and see the world. Like my first national trip was to Louisiana. Like, what? I was like, my mom was like, you made it to where? I was like, oh, it's just in Baton Rouge. Like, I didn't know where Baton Rouge. I was 12. And my mom was the mom that caught it every single stop. She knew the stops on the buses, so she called a restaurant or she called it here. And they were like, we're looking for a Ciara Chic. Your mom's on the phone. I'm like, how did she know we were here? But my mom entrusted them with us. Yeah, and a lot of people trusted them to pretty much raise us because they had us all summer. So it was cool. It was real cool.
Okay, so we was productive. We was running track. You know, had some world-class athletes. You run some track in high school, and then you do soccer in high school. Now, my next question is college. Okay, did you attend college?
West Virginia University, WVU, as we would say, not WVU, but WVU.
WVU. Okay, so West Virginia.
I'm sorry, I'm a Marshall fan. I can't like WVU, but I like WVU. You know, because we're the two in the state, you know, but, you know, shout out to you. But I'm sorry. I'm MU all day.
I had an offer for there, but I just was like, Marshall, West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. So did you receive a track scholarship?
But you went to Ball State too, though, right?
For grad school, yep. Grad school, yeah.
Okay. Did you receive a track scholarship or? Yeah.
That was interesting how that, because Marshall had put the offer on the table. Actually, I went and did a visit, and I don't hold nothing back. So coach showed us everything. And I said, well, look, I looked at my mom and said, well, really, look, like, what are you giving me to come here? My mom was like, that is so rude. I was like, Mom, first off, I don't want you to pay for anything. So what is this package looking like? He's like, well, I guess we could do like tuition or maybe just books. And he said something that did not sit well with me. I'm like, that's not a deal. I was like, okay. I was like, so what do I need to do to get a full ride? He's like, oh, you would need to like run a sub 12 and a 100-meter dash. I said, oh, that's it? And he just kind of looked like this. And I said, all right, coach. I gave him a handshake, dapped him up. I said, I'll see you at Gazettes. Got the Gazette relays, looked around. I looked at my sister, and I used to always joke with my sister. She used to be my block holder. I'm like, girl, I'm about to get out here and run this sub 12, get this scholarship. She's like, I see you, chick. She used to have me gassed up in the blocks too. I'm like, yeah, dapping her up. I get out and run, look up. It was like 11:9 something. Walked out the track. I seen coach. I was like, coach, was that good enough? He just shook his head and he laughed. So with that being on the table, I was able to have the leverage because when I got the phone call from West Virginia, he's like, oh, what are you here from? Told him the schools. He's like, so what is Marshall offering? I was like, full ride. He was like, okay, that's great. We'll offer you a full ride too. So it was a big deal that at that time, there was only 2 track athletes coming from the state of West Virginia going to West Virginia University. Very, very big deal because they never recruited within the state. It was me and another pole vaulter, Mary Beth Held at the time. And that was a big thing. And I didn't know it was a big thing because I didn't always watch news. I didn't know it was going to Morgantown. So when I came in as a freshman, it was like, oh, you that girl. What girl? Like, I guess. But yeah. But
okay. So now So tell me about your West Virginia experience. Was it a culture shock coming from Rand and then going into the big city, Morgantown?
Morgantown is not the big city.
Morgantown is smaller than Charleston.
Smaller. Now
when
what?
You said Charles, you said Rand. So I know Rand is like that big.
Well, Rand is right outside of Charleston. So
yeah, we're
kind of like
6 miles from downtown, like from our capital city, from the dome, from the Capitol building complex is literally 6 miles.
Yeah, Charleston and Jace. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, Charleston and Jace. I got you. So the big city of Morgantown. How was it?
Morgantown was different, and I would never, I think back and I tell like my little cousins and other kids that are coming up, like, man, being a student athlete is hard. It's work and it's discipline, but I would never trade it for anything else. Now, so I can't speak to like, oh yeah, West Virginia was definitely just coming off the party in like party school. I couldn't do but so much because I was a student athlete. I had to keep a certain GPA. Half the time I wasn't there anyway. So, But West Virginia, it wasn't a change because we went to a mixed high school. We had Black and white students. It was a change for the people I knew. They was like, they come from Atlanta. They was like, chick, how you do it? I was like, do what? They was like, all these white. I was like, all these white people what? Like, huh? And I was an honor student, so I was always kind of one of the only ones in class. So there might have been 2 of us in class, like me and Dave.
Sure.
Like it was never a lot of us.
So we got to discuss some things. Some things ain't adding up. So we got a sister on the track team at West Virginia. So I already know the football team and the basketball team hollering at you because it's one of very few. But let me ask this question. Well, you're dabbling in on the other side, playing for the other team. And what I mean by that is where you're down with the vanilla.
Oh, I didn't have an issue. I was open. But when I can say truly during my junior high years, I mean, you're talking about 93 to 95 was a rough time just for us culturally. Like, so that's when the Million Man March came out and I was all heavy, like Louis Farrakhan, like, yeah, I'm about that life. And then like high school came around, I was like, it doesn't matter. But I never had dated a white guy, but I was open to it. But I was like into like different cultures. So like I used to have this crush on this Indian kid that went to like GW, like, which is George Washington High School. Like, I don't know. It gave me no time of day. He was a kid of doctors. I'm like this girl from the slums. Like, we had nothing in common. It was cool, but
Okay. No,
I'm looking some more at what did you take? Because she's not only this athlete though, like she said, she's honor. So what was your major in school? Because that's something different, just period. What was your major in college?
Archaeology. Everybody jokes like, oh, only all student athletes do that at West Virginia. No, but I actually wanted to be an archaeologist. Well, I still am a registered archaeologist, but that's what I was going to school for. And that was another thing, that held me from Marshall. They didn't have my discipline.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with archaeology, I mean, that's just rare, you know, within itself. Just not just the discipline, but just having an African American female an archaeologist. I know none. I know of none. I've never heard of any. Like, what made you even choose that?
I chose my profession at the age of 11. Again, I was gifted. I was a gifted student. Made very, very good grades. Very, very smart. So I chose, initially I wanted to be a paleontologist. The more I researched, I was like, yeah, well, I'm not down for learning all those bones. And I always have to funded expedition. Like, I'm begging for money. Like, yeah, no. So we chose to just go the other route. And I was like, I like learning about culture and people. And I was like, I'll be an archaeologist. Well, of course, I seen Indiana Jones. Archaeology is not like, but I was like, dang, son, like, he's like running in the tombs, finding some crazy stuff, crystal skulls. Like, yeah, but it wasn't like that. But
wasn't like that. You just dusting off rocks and like, ooh, okay.
On the riverbank of Rand.
Yeah.
Everybody with me. It did not matter and I was a tomboy, so I had all the guys convinced in the neighborhood, and that we was just going to go. We had a frog catching business. Who does that? It was springtime. I'm like, yo, Miss So-and-so got frogs in her pool and they got them in the yard and we should go get them. They're like, yeah. We used to take 5 buckets, and I came home one day and my mother was like, what's in the bucket? And she went to open the door. She's like, what is in the bucket? I was like, Mom, it's nothing. It's just a couple frogs. Now you get that. She was cussing me out. Get out of my yard. And she was like, take them. I was like, what do you want me to do? She was like, you need to let them go. I just dumped a whole bucket of frogs in the yard and they was just going. My mom was screaming. She slammed the
Okay. Experience.
She's a bad little girl.
Yeah.
she can speak to that. I was a little on the rough side.
Mischievous.
Yeah. Okay. So now you're an archaeologist running track in West Virginia, open to, whatever comes. You have some, everything. All flavors, no discrimination. I like that. I was likewise. However, what was it that you said, you know what? I need to get, into something more physical. You went from soccer and track. I understand soccer got some physicality to it, but how did you go from being a track runner, archaeologist, and said, all right, I need to play the second roughest sport there is? Only thing rougher than football would be boxing.
Rugby is rough too. I'm just saying.
Not like football. You don't have that top end speed in football. I mean rugby.
Yeah. My brother was a football player.
Got you.
Anything that my brother did, I wanted to do better.
Is he younger or older?
Older, 2 years older than me.
Oh yeah, little sis.
So if he was doing algebra, I'm doing algebra. Okay. Oh, you spelling those kind of words? Oh, I'm spelling those kind of words. You running that fast? I'm running faster. You playing football? I'm gonna play football. No, you're not. My mom shut that down young. And so when I got older, I had a surgery. And I came home to rest with my mom. I don't know why I did that, but she wanted to take care of me. So I came home and I was laying on the couch, and it's summertime. I'm turning through the channel and I'm like, what is that? High school football right now. I was like, that's weird. And I was like, those are girls. I was like, Pittsburgh Passion. So I called my little boyfriend up in Pittsburgh. I was like, you heard of that girls football team, the Pittsburgh Passion? He was like, yeah. A girl lives across the street from you to play. I was like, shut up. He was like, you want to play? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'll do her. So I went out, I tried out, and I made the team. My mom was pissed. But, I was grown.
Hey, I got a confession. When high school did come out, not high school, when girls were first allowed to play football in high school, I was in high school. Mm-hmm. The first year that they said, it was like, so me and like 3 or 4 of my friends, we all decided that we were going to go out for the football team at DuPont High School and play football.
I did not know.
Dad, yes, me, shout out to Kid Singleton, there's a couple of other people, we was going to play football. My dad was like, if you don't get in there and put a skirt on and grab a purse, you are not going on no field. You are a woman. Woman is going to get beat up on the field. You are not ready for no football. You can't even run. You didn't even know nothing about football. It was like shut down immediately. Like, it was like 3 of us. It was so funny. But we wanted to play because we were tomboys too. And we would play with them on the playground, throwing the football at the playground. We played tackle with them and all that. But it's a little bit different.
Very much.
So my dad was like, all of our dads were like, no, not playing football. Didn't even know that, but yeah, we wanted to do that.
If I recall, didn't Rand during that time period have a very good football program?
DuPont,
excuse me.
DuPont, yeah. That was they've always had a good football team.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking like, you really could have got hurt. Like if you were at a small little local school, I could say you might get away with it. Some of the guys, you might have been a little bit bigger, but since you had like a school that
beat up, that
would have been
like
way too physical.
Yeah, we were AAA. It wouldn't have been good. Them boys was like corn fed.
It was big country, cornbread eating dudes.
Yeah. I was like,
Okay, off me, but I did want to throw that in there. But go ahead.
I didn't know that about you. Wow.
Yeah. I told you she was different. Yeah, it's different, right? All right, so you just slipped something in there, but it ain't getting by me. So you had a boyfriend in Pittsburgh. What's going on? You ain't mentioned that. You was just in school.
I was engaged twice, so therefore it was.
Hold up, boy. Wait, whoa. Let's not try to run by that. Slow down a little bit. Slow down just a moment for a second. Hold on. So now, how did we get off of studies? Because archaeology is not very simple. They didn't say, all right, you're going to be a gym teacher and you're going to just, focus on your athleticism. You said, no, I'm going to pick a major that is extremely challenging. And so you take this challenging, course load, and then you're an athlete on scholarship. So, you got to be on top because I know in track, they look at your times and your time's slipping. It's like, yeah, they might just say, you
it's not ground to take a scholarship, but they will set you down.
Yeah. And that's one thing I do know, but let me just say this for the people who don't know, whereas when you receive an athletic scholarship, it's renewable every year. So they give you a 5-year scholarship, renewable every year. And let's say your time slipped because you got a little comfortable, and then there's another young lady from Rand that wants a scholarship. They would say, you know what, you're going to have to pay this year because we're going to give your money to somebody else. So that competitiveness of being an athlete is quite, a pressure. That's why, athletes are kind of used to that type of pressure per se. But now you just mentioned that, you're open and then you had a boyfriend and then you just mentioned you had 2 engagements. So 2 men have dropped to a knee and said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Then not only just one, then you had another gentleman.
Well, he's my husband now, though.
No, but it was 2.
It was only one. It was only one.
No, 2. No, 2.
Only one.
She said she was engaged twice. What's going on? I know how to count.
Right. With the second engagement turned to a marriage.
But it was still an engagement.
Yeah, one, 2.
I'm only speaking about engagements right now. Okay, we're not defending. I'm the male. Yes, I heard what she said. I was engaged twice. Did you receive 2 rings by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, did you keep? No. This is the juicy stuff.
I gave the first ring back. I couldn't keep it because you know what? It wasn't a he problem. It wasn't me problem. He had crazy baby mama issues. So we couldn't go. Was done. It was resolved. Like, I love you. I got love for you, but it can't work, So
tell me, was this in college or after college? So I don't want to mess up the time.
After college. No, we after college. Cool. We're well into working archaeology. I just graduated from Ball State University with a master's degree, and I'm in Pittsburgh at that point in time.
Got you. So now let's keep going. We're gonna touch on that because that just kind of shocked me real quick. So now, because listen, I already know the deal. You up there looking all fine. You the track athlete. I was in college. We was looking. So it was just normal. It was just normal. So
at the start, and now at the finish, y'all don't know how the race ended, but you know how it started.
Yeah, no, we didn't worry. We just like the motion. We just like the motion. We was like, oh, look at the race. You know what I'm saying? There's something right there that's real, peculiar. I
was never at the end of the race. I'd have guys come like, Chick, we was at your track meet. Like, word, did you see that? Oh, what happened at the end? That means they was at the start.
Yeah, because you
either won or lost.
No, compromise position in that start. Yeah. Yeah, they were like this. So men has got, some issues. We dealing with them. But at the same time, no. We got good intentions at the end. Listen, lust turns to love. Always remember that. Lust turns to love.
Now you sound like my husband.
Yeah. Lust turns into love. Okay, that's mine now. I said it 3 times. It's mine.
You can have it. All right,
okay, so now
where we at?
she's in college. She up there, keeping her GPA up because she see, you can't do nothing with a BA with archaeology, so she has to go to grad school. And she also see that she got to keep her money right. So she got to make sure her track stuff is there. So you graduate. All right. Did you have a college boyfriend? You had to leave him behind. You had a boy back at home you had to leave behind that ran. Did you break some hearts along the way? Is this anything that you would like to speak on?
High school, I had a serious boyfriend. He broke up with me Memorial Day weekend. And I was so distraught. But he was right. He said, you know what? I'm not there. And I'm not going to go to school for football. And so, I'm going to stay home. And you need to live your life. That's what he told me.
Good job for him. Keep it moving.
Yeah, I need to grow.
Oh my God. So he set you free. He said, go be free, be the best you can be. Yep. And if you come back to me, then I know it's meant to be. Okay, that was bars.
Oh, now he's a poet. Now he's a poet.
You see that? You see how I did? But anyway, right? So he set you free, and then at the same time, you wasn't mad at him because you was like, I am going to college and I would like to meet somebody.
No, I was that. I was distraught.
You was distraught?
That happens. When it's your first real boyfriend you had for a long time, everybody goes through that.
And we had that crazy high school.
We know you cried.
We had that crazy high school love too. My mom was like, y'all's love was just different. Y'all had that crazy love. That just wasn't healthy. So my mom said.
All right.
That's a different story, different time. We'll just kind of.
Absolutely. Yeah. But now,
all right, where we at? Where we going? There we go.
So she had a boyfriend going there. So she's single, ready to mingle. And she was saying that in high school had a serious boyfriend. Had a serious boyfriend in college?
No. We had friends. Right. Didn't have time for that. No.
Had friends. I like that. You said friends.
Yeah, because I ended up being a poster, like we call them poster kids. So I was doing a lot in the front. So kind of like the face of track sometimes falls on different athletes at certain times. Yeah. So if you're ever on a program, brochure, desktop images, 2 poster people don't need to be together.
Correct.
It's not. Now, have I talked to other poster athletes? Yes. Was it made known public? Heck no.
Absolutely.
Got you. Yeah. Ain't none of their business. All right.
Absolutely. So now, because I know at times it gets difficult for female athletes, especially because for male athletes, being on scholarship, you may get a young lady pregnant. You don't have to stop your athletic endeavors. Whereas if you are female, because I've heard, and it's like the whisper campaign, like, does she like boys or it's like girls? And it seems like they tend more likely to recruit, athletes that tend a certain way because it's a financial thing. Whereas they don't say, oh, we can't really take your scholarship from you because it'll look real bad. And do we give it back after you go through this and things of that nature? So now you're graduating and you're looking at schools for graduate school. Did you ever think about going professionally for track? No, it wasn't it. You wasn't just like, look, let me give me a.
It was too much. By my senior year, I had fractured my L5 my junior year. Actually, this is a picture of me in my junior year. That's junior year. That's junior year.
Okay.
Oh,
so I was machine. Yeah, I was machine. It was looking great. I probably still would have not done professionally.
Okay, all right.
But I fractured my L5 that year. So I was off most of my indoor season. So that led me up to like a little bit of weight gain, which was like 15 pounds, which was not, I was 125. So I go from 125, it was more like 10. I was like 135. I came back.
Oh, you was in Luke video then. Oh, okay, cool.
So I came back, we're doing the stadium stairs, like the basketball arena stairs going. And I cannot breathe. My coach was like, Chick. I was like, yeah. He's like, so there's some things we need to talk about. I said, yeah, coach, I'm fat. He's like, okay, I'm so glad that you said it because I didn't want to have that conversation with you. So we'll be taking eating classes. So I had to go to like eating classes to try to learn some different healthier things to eat, packing my lunch more on campus, having more of a balanced meal. and doing more cardio. What happens is when you have a state-of-the-art lifting facility and a major, huge, phenomenal lifting coach who is like A1, like producing athletes out the wall, some of that fat does not go away. It turns to muscle. So a lot of it did not go away. I just bulked up. I was slower. My senior year was kind of sad to say. I could have done better, but my senior year was filled with like, I didn't make finals for Big East.
Gotcha.
Who doesn't make finals? Like I'm a point scorer. That's why I was brought into the university, is to score points and to be on a 4x1 team and to be on the 400 leg on distance medley to bring in national titles and All-American titles to school. That's what I was there for. So senior year, I was a hot mess. It was sad, but I mean, heck.
Okay. I understand. So your height, you're 5'3"?
5'2" and a half. So you can say 5'3". I'll take 5'3".
Okay, 5'3". And I'm sitting here like 5'3", 135. I was like, okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's right there.
I'll take it.
Look, I was like this. That's right there. Like, I
it wasn't cute to come being like 120 your whole life. I was like really lanky. And then to go to college, and the only 5 pounds I grew was like, I was like so D's up. My mom was like, you know, I used to play with my brother, and he was like, "Al, you're hurting me." I'm like, "I'm not hurting you. Shut up."
Yeah. So now we go into university for graduate school. Why did you choose Ball State for grad school?
I didn't choose Ball State. I applied to 5 schools. Ball State's the only one that accepted me.
Oh, damn. Shout out to Ball State.
On that.
Ball State, wherever that is.
Thank you, Ball State.
Thank you, Ball State. Ball State. So
I am a Cardinal, chirp too, but
chirp.
It's different when you're in grad school. It's not the same as undergrad. I mean, I didn't really have school pride. And I coached track. I was their technical coach and throws coach, but I had nothing, Ball State, anything. The coach finally told me, he was like, "Ciara, you have to wear your conference stuff." I said, "Well, coach, I don't have nothing else to wear." "Well, you're just wearing West Virginia stuff in Big East conference." I was like, maybe I should switch to Big East. I don't know. Like, she started giving me stuff to wear. Yeah, she just started laughing. I was like, I just don't have anything to wear. I was like, I'll just wear red t-shirts then or something, or give me a Ball State track t-shirt.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I used to call the MAC conference the WAC conference. I used to.
No.
It's so mean.
Yeah.
I don't know conference t-shirts.
You had Miami of Ohio there. Boiling Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to be in the MAC.
Yeah, the MAC conference. Okay, all right. So I do understand. All right. So graduated from Ball State. Wait. So during the process of Ball State, you're coaching track. Did you get disenchanted with track, or you try to look elsewhere? Because if you're coaching, I would think that, all right, you could do it elsewhere because you've done it at a high level.
Mm-hmm. No. It's a lot of time. Like when you coach, you're basically the athlete as well. So it takes a lot of time out. So when I coached, it was okay, because when I left, and I think some athletes speak to this, but when you leave, and I was in and out in 4 years. Some people take the luxury, they redshirt, they're there for 5 years. But in and out in 4 years, you're spit out, you're done. But that was your family there for 4 years. You don't know how to function. Like I was a student athlete who was on scholarship. So things were done for me that I never did. I never had to sign up and go on a computer like normal kids and, try to get in for class. Yeah. My class schedule was done. I'm done at 12:30, 1 o'clock every day. I get the classes I need. It doesn't matter. My books are in a box. I don't go to the bookstore. The bookstore to pay for a book, huh? How much are books? I had no clue.
Right. No, that's
at the grad school. It was like I lost my family. I wasn't running track anymore. I was quote unquote fat. So it was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm going to grad school, but really like what? I was sad. I was like lightweight depressed. I called my coach a lot. And finally he was like, "Chick, why are you calling me?" I was like, "I miss you guys." He's like, "Live your life." Like, go, bye. But yeah, it was a little rough. It's a rough transition from leaving your family. It's almost like you have, like, I always say athletes have 2 deaths. It's like, especially when you go into professional. So when you're done with college and say you don't go on, you die. that's a part of you just has to, like, you give it up. You can't live in the old glory days, because that's corny to me. I hate when people do that. But and then the second time is when you're a professional athlete and you stop again.
Wow.
Things are so different. You don't know how to, like, I didn't know how to go to a bookstore and buy a book. I didn't know how much books cost. So when I'm in grad school, they're like, you need to buy this book. I go to $200. I don't have $200. I'm broke. And I know when I call my mom $200, it's not happening, because she said, oh, you want to go to grad school? Oh, that's great. You better apply for those student loans. And I vowed to my mom, I said, you never have to spend a dime on my college. That was my goal for undergrad. Don't spend anything. If you do, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have it. We didn't have it. I mean, I was a single parent home, 2 kids. My mom going to West Virginia State College, trying to get a finance accounting degree, working at Donut Connection. How was she, she eventually started working for Charleston Housing, but still on that income, like, how was she going to pay for school? Like, huh? Not a possible thought in my head. It wasn't it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rough when you transition.
So when you say all of that, you're coming from, so you're in that state and you're okay, like rough transition. You're coming from Little Old Rand, West Virginia. Like, what gives you the mindset to go? Because everybody don't. Everybody from the town, some people make it and they go there, and then some people stop at high school and don't go to the next level. Like, their high school is their glory. So
yeah.
What do you think helped you to keep the mindset besides, just not having your mom pay for school? What made you be like, oh, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna get out of here and I'm gonna make something of myself? Because everybody doesn't.
I think that's a drive. I think for every little kid growing up in Rand, our goal was like, oh, we leaving. We gonna do this and we're gonna make Rand proud. Like, that was the thing. Like, I'm gonna make everybody at home proud. I'm gonna do this. And that was my push. My push was obviously to be better than my brother. But it's like, I wanted to be the first in everything. I wanted to just succeed. I just wanted to at a young age. And I think all of us, like, especially as an athlete, you have it in yourself to do that. Like, that's what you want to be the best at anything you do. So I can truthfully say every job I had, from being a Kmart cashier, I wanted to be the best cashier. And I was going to dress like I was manager. Yes, I was. Like, I was going to be the best. It's like, I don't know. It's just that athlete in you, that just competitive edge. You just always want to next level. Level.
Got you.
Okay. So
all right,
now,
where you at?
Okay. Oh, no. I'm just taking notes.
He's
so now we Ball State. Okay. So now, all right, you ain't much of a student, don't have pride. Okay. Any prospects there, or is this where the passion or the phone call happened to Pittsburgh?
Oh, just a mental note, like, oh, guess what? You can be a student. What? I can go to parties. I can, like, do stuff. Like, I can, like, go on a ski trip. Like, if I get hurt, it don't matter. Like, what? This is crazy. Okay. I lived my life a little bit. Them 2 years I was at Ball State was fun. Okay. I learned a lot. I learned about budgeting. I learned about, like, because when you're at West Virginia, again, I was student athlete, scholarship athlete. I got a check every month. I didn't have to worry about where money was coming from. I'm at grad school like, dang, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Listen, church used to still send me care packages, came through clutch every time. Nothing but God, because I'd be like, Lord, look at them cabinets. I'm like, we're going to eat. Get that box from First Missionary Baptist Church at the door. Yeah, save the day with the stuff that they pack.
Okay.
I was so excited about those care packages, though. But that, like, pushed me into being an adult. Like, I was like, I still had to figure out how to put gas in my car. I had to pay my rent. I had to pay my utilities. And I don't get a $750, $800 check every month. And mind you, this is early 2000s, so that was like decent money for a kid to have in college and not work. I mean, we was working because we were student athletes, but so that was a big one. So that's when I learned more about resources, like community resources. I never thought, like, and my mom was like so upset. I was like, well, Mom, I went to a welfare office the other day. What would you do that for? I was like, I don't have food. And one of the ladies at the church was like, Ciara, you're a student. Like, you don't make a lot of money. Come down. She was a welfare worker. She was like, come down to the office and apply for, like, benefits. And I did. It was like the smartest thing, like mind-blowing thing that I ever did. And I didn't mind doing it because it was a stepping stone for me. Because I'm a kid in college, I didn't have insurance. Like before, I was on WVU's insurance. If I got hurt, boom, I needed glasses. Oh, I mean, so it was crazy. You had to learn like a lot. Like, what could I do? So I was like hustling. I was like making CDs, cleaning people's houses, cleaning sneakers, like doing whatever. Like, I'm like, oh, yo, like, and it was usually like the D-boys on campus. Like, oh, your house is dirty. You want to pay me? I'll clean it. Oh, y'all having your little girlfriends over? You want me to cook dinner? Like, that was an easy, like, $100.
Hey, it's a hustle. That was a hustle.
Okay. All right. So that's
love it.
Nice little hustle there. So now you have to start looking, you're having fun in grad school. And after this part, you should be like eyeing different jobs per se.
Oh, yeah, I got to get
yeah, you gotta look, because right now it's like I gotta go back ran or yeah. I either gotta go back to,
that was my option. Real talk. Like one of the lab directors in the archaeological lab was like, "Hey, well, you know, there's a student that went here that works for GAI. It's an engineering consulting firm here. He was like, why don't you start applying for like what we call them in the archaeology word shovel bum, which is basically you're just a field tech. So you're out, you're digging daily. You're not doing anything else. You're digging. You're just a freaking digging robot, right? So I started applying to different jobs. Boom, landed a job. It was based out here in PA. I was like, bet. And when I get out there, I'll just apply for another job. Well, the boyfriend at this point in time, I did get a boyfriend before I left grad school.
Yeah.
Ironically, he was from the Pittsburgh area and he went to California University in California, Pennsylvania. So it was like, go back to Rand, go to Cal U, be on a college campus and finish my master's thesis and then go work wherever. And so that's what I did. So I lived with that boyfriend for a semester. I finished part of my master's thesis. Then I lost it and I stopped writing on it for 2 years. My thumb drive short circuited and I lost about over 100 and some pages of writing, like 3 chapters of my thesis.
That'll make anybody want to quit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done. So then I picked it back up when I finally left from there. I came to Pittsburgh, you know, I took like almost 2 years off of it. But I was kind of like right here because I had to build it back all up. And I had to get books that weren't available for me. I had to make trips to like Virginia, the Congress Library in Virginia. I had to go back to Ball State, check out books, but I had to drive back to Ball State to check them back in. It's crazy.
Okay.
But wow. I got it done. I got it done. And so at that point in time, things started turning around. So I was getting more jobs within the city. And then after I was done with that semester, I moved to the city. And I am so blessed that like so many different people that I didn't know, like reached out like, oh, you can stay here, you could do this, or you can, you know, even the boyfriend I had at the time, his grandma was like, we'll stay here until you figure out where you're going to live at.
Okay.
And that was only like a week I made it stay there. And then I found a place. Yeah.
Yeah. That was easy. He was just trying to, that was real nice. Like, yeah, might as well don't pay rent. You know, you can stay with me.
Yeah. I was like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Had a nice little thing right there. It's good. It's good. Yeah. I put it together. So let's move on, right? Okay, now let's go to the next part. Okay, so now you kind of look at the TV. You see that, wait a minute. It look like some girls, they playing football. What in your mindset, I can do that?
Because I'm an athlete.
I know you're an athlete, but
I was thinking, like, they're bums. They probably don't even got no athletic background. Let's do this. That's all I thought.
You know what?
Okay.
You said that. I looked on their recent website for the Pittsburgh Passion. It said that. It said no experience necessary. It did say that. So she's right. Some are not athletes. It's just a hobby. They may want to get started and then they go. So that's a great point. I did see that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And some of the best athletes, we all were athletes in college, which is like cool. So you could be on a team with soccer players, base softball players, or girls that actually ran track. Yeah, they mostly, everybody almost did a sport. But some just weren't. They were just like, oh my gosh, you want to play football? I love football. It's a little bit more.
A little bit more than that. Absolutely.
A little bit more than that.
Our depth charts used to be crazy. Like we could fill a roster like 1 to like 89, no problem. Every number was taken. But did everyone play?
Nah. Okay. So now You said, I'm an athlete, I could go in there, because I think right now in this day and age, people do that. Me, I actually respect certain sports. So like I see people just jump into MMA. And I'm like, you don't realize that you could do that, but you understand the boxers that's like a science.
Maybe there was a rumbler in high school and they was like one of them like Debo type dudes on the playground. I mean, gotta give them, a little bit of credit.
As they said, tough guys don't last in boxing. I see MMA, you could do it because it's a lower skill set.
Oh yeah, it's different. Yeah,
it's different. It's bludgeoning. Whereas boxing, no. That's why you don't see people jump into boxing. They jump into MMA. They don't jump into boxing. Totally different. So now my question, all right, you go to the tryout, okay? You see all types of women, shape, sizes, abilities there. Right. And now, and now what are you thinking? Like, this
I can't catch a cold, but I told him, I said, look, I'm fast. I cannot catch a cold. Do not pass me the ball. I have no eye-hand coordination. Hand me the ball and I will score for you. And so most people that watch women's football know that, especially because we're not lingerie football. We're fully clothed, fully padded.
Yeah, big O.
Fully padded. So a lot of times, I'm going to say 90% of my team are part of the LGBTQAI community. Well, there's 10% of us women that are straight, have kids, have husbands.
Whoa, excuse me.
Football husbands.
You kind of
don't bother me at all.
You kind of threw me off right now. You said the numbers is that high, like
by far. Yeah, I would beg to, like when I think about how many girls on the team with kids and husbands, because just because you have a child doesn't mean that.
True that.
Yeah. So that had like husbands and they were into men. But you know what? It's like, and it's weird because football, like any other sport, you just become sisters. Like to me, it wasn't a thought. But other people are like, ooh,
right.
So shower? Y'all, I'm like, what?
Right,
like,
right. And there's a stereotype, yeah.
It blows my mind. And then so people are like, so you bi? No. I'm heterosexual. Like,
you know what they say that about girls, but they don't say the same thing about guys. They're gonna be like, hey, what about
in the men's football realm? There's so much more, but they don't
talk about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I would venture to say there's at least 30 to 40% of every man on the football. They're going to be, they either bi or gay, or there's something. I wouldn't want to call them gay or queer because sometimes that's not the title because everybody has their own title. But even in the football world, we have a handful that they transition later. Some girls that were in transition, the league had to figure out how they can still play. They were assigned female at birth and they're not on any live hormones. They can play. As long as they're not juicing around on steroids, they can play because they are a woman. And just because you are a trans man doesn't make you like invincible. Like you're gonna go beat up on some women now. Like, no, like I hate when people do that. Like, or they be like, but it does change when you start taking hormones. It is different. But there's a lot of female athletes that aren't trans athletes and are great athletes. They're just athletes. Like, to me, like love is love. Athletes are athletes. It never made me feel any type of way. Some of my best friends are trans and gay. And I don't know. I don't think about it. Like, it doesn't bother me, but I get questioned about that. And I know everybody's dying to know. So I thought I'd bring that question up because I didn't know if y'all would feel comfortable asking me. But yeah. And I'm a big supporter and ally of the LGBTQ community because to me, it may not be my cup of tea, but if I love you as my friend, I could care less as long as you happy. Man, woman, female, trans, whatever.
Okay. Because my question, because you, like I was listening to everything you're saying and it sparked several questions. So let's say there's a man that's transitioning and we do agree that men physically are stronger than women. Right. Biologically. So now you have a man that may transition into be a woman. You're saying that they can still play as a man or they have to transition first? Because right now, I think that's
if you're in transition, you can still play football as long as you're assigned woman at birth.
Okay.
You can play. And they will check your hormones level. So you can still be a trans male and play and have reassignment like gender like surgery. And it's fine. Again, because, you were assigned female at birth. and they'll check your levels. They do check levels if they have an inkling of like, because I've seen some girls that were like in transition, but they weren't amazing players. Like you have a full beard, but you're not that good. Like, so I wouldn't say like, oh, because she's a trans man, or I should say he's a trans man. I can't say because he's a trans man, like, oh my gosh, he's going to be a phenomenal footballer. No.
Okay, because that was the issue.
Information. That's actually good information.
Yeah, that was an issue in track some years ago about women that had certain hormones.
And it was sad. Yeah, I did not like it.
And it was crazy because the one woman, I believe it came on HBO because I watched the special and I was like, what? She had a full baby, like literally. Like, no, they go my daughter. We shouldn't question me anymore. And they were like, your levels. And I was like, huh? I think as soon as you have a baby, you don't have to be in that line anymore.
Yeah, because you have a womb and you have ovaries. Even if you're a hermaphrodite, just because your genitalia may look different doesn't make you male or female. I don't agree with that. Like, I thought that was horrible that they even questioned that. It's like, what was she assigned at birth? Even if it was a question mark and was left open-ended because her parents didn't want to make that decision for her, because me as a parent and now me being so close to the LGBTQ community, if my kid was born like a hermaphrodite, I would not assign their gender right away. No, I want to see how my child feels, because regardless if they have ovaries or not, that child is going to be who they are, because there's a lot of trans people that were that other sex when they were young, like 2. If you're 2 telling me I'm a girl, and obviously you were assigned male at birth, I don't agree with everybody saying, oh, you need to make him a boy. Child, it has nothing to do at that point, like his sexual preference has nothing to do with it. It's about how he feels. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a big argument scientifically, spiritually, like where you at in life to even accept that. And it usually people can't accept it or talk about it until it hit home. Like that's when people are like, oh, my nephew's gay, or my sister's gay, or my sister's trans, or oh, my baby just came home and came out to me. Now you're singing a different tune. But everybody at first, like, especially people in the church, oh no, you pray the gay way. Right. Those kind of cases, when a kid is 2, they didn't choose that, man. That's how they feel. Like they're 2. Like, how can you say, oh, well, he was raised by one? There's a lot of single women raising little boys out here in the world because the men are absent, whether they're dead or in prison. Seriously? Like, you know, that, yeah.
Okay.
That's a whole.
Yeah, we can talk another whole.
But no, it really is. I mean, you could go for days just with that alone. What are you going to say,
Oh, so now you touched a little bit upon the lingerie league, because when I was first, introduced to your name, I was like, oh, word? Oh, yeah, I used to see that. Like, I used to, like, Friday nights, happened to see it. I wasn't looking for it. And I was like...
He was like, the cute ones with lingerie.
Yeah.
No, that's
like,
not
no, they got full uniforms. I was like, no, not the ones I seen. They don't have uniforms. Trust me, I looked. And she was like, no, they got uniforms. I said, wait a minute, there's a professional women's football league, like full garb. She was like, yeah. And I was like,
yeah.
Never heard. So I was very, like, this was something that was very new. But when I thought, and I said, well, wait a minute, we got to discuss this, because that right there got popularized. So how do you feel about the lingerie league? Like, what is your thoughts about it?
I don't have any thoughts about it. I mean, they're still playing a sport. It does look different. Sex sells. It's pathetic that we as women have to disrobe to make money. And even then, like, people talk about, last interview I did talk about, like, we pay to play in our league. And in a way, so do lingerie. They pay to play. Sometimes they get paid, sometimes they're just sponsored. So it's less of a burden with traveling and stuff like that. But I've had friends that play lingerie, and it's still tough. It's still serious contact. I mean, I have a girlfriend from her knee up, brush burn, because she don't got on pants.
Yeah, correct.
That's degree burn. Yeah, that's not cool. All on the nah. Yeah. But I don't feel anything. I mean, because I know if I was young and I was still tight right, I probably would have went out there. Why not?
Listen. You told me this stuff. You was like 105, 135. I was like, that's right there. That's right there in the lingerie league. But at the same time, I looked at it and I saw the physicality of the lingerie league. But I was like, wait a minute, that's more like arena ball. Because it's smaller.
They hit up high, roll up. Yeah, they hit up tall, so they only have like field hockey helmets and the shoulder pads, but them girls they can ball and they get jacked.
But what I've seen, because looking at some of the professional league, I see the speed of the game. So I was like, wait a minute, can't do it. But a big question I had, what type of field do you guys play on? Do you play a high school field, collegiate, or is it a professional lined field?
Oh, it'll be the same as collegiate / professional. Our rules are that way too. They're a blend of NFL and collegiate rules.
Yeah, but I was talking about the size.
The field, all fields are regulation. They're the same size. It's just 100-yard field. It's the regular field.
No, the width in college and high school are different, and pros are different.
No, I don't even know the width because we played on every from like Heinz Field, Steeler Stadium to the major state. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, because you like. A collegiate field and a professional field is different.
I'm a downhill runner. I don't really run to the side, bro. So I don't know.
Yeah, so you might know, like, if you get to a high school field and then you go to a college field. That was for me.
Some of the fields were high school fields. So I mean, but when we hosted the championship game here, we played on Heinz Field. But so does the field. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think it changes. They start to play on Heinz Field here. I'm not sure. I really
no, they do. Just like
make the lines different. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like I can't tell you about like. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's go like into track terms. High school, you run the 400 meters. College, you run the 440, and professional, you run a 500 meter. That's a huge difference. But so in football terms, college, you're going 54 yards wide. Versus a 50 or 48 yard wide. So now you get to the sidelines, or if you're passing distance, passing it to the sidelines. It's all.
I really don't know what the set stage is because we played on college fields, we played on high school fields, and we played on NFL fields. So I'm not sure.
I got you. So now that was just brief. So now
give me the ball, let me run.
Yeah. So now when I looked at some of the highlights and I say, wow, 8-game season, 1, and you pay to play. What about any type of endorsements? Do you guys receive it? Is it personal or is it like league wide? How does that look?
Yeah. Each player, I can only really speak to Pittsburgh Passion. Each player within our team is expected to bring in $1,500. Now, if you bring in more than that, you get 50% of what you bring in. You're sponsored to play. You go and get sponsorships. Or if you're an old school person, we're like, I'm getting a sponsorship. I might get a $500 sponsorship and pay the rest, or I might get 2 sponsorships to pay half of it, or whatever the case may be. But we also do fundraisers. So it's never really coming out of your pocket unless you just choose not to apply yourself to get out there and raise money, get a sponsor, or do a fundraiser.
Okay. So when you say 50%, so if let's just say hypothetically, Under Armour comes to you and says, man, Ms. Kimbrough, we really like you. We want you to wear our cleat. And they give you, say a $15,000 scholarship. You're telling me because they came to you, you have to give the league partial of that?
No, I have to pay to play. I have to give my team my due. So I can choose what I want to do with the money, but it would behoove me to probably pay my fees to play.
Yeah.
So if I go, like, let's say that I talk to a car dealership and they say, you know what, we're going to sponsor you $5,000. $1,500 of that will go to the team. Whatever's left, I get 50% of from my personal pocket. That's it.
Now my question is, because that's what I don't understand. You saying that you'll get $1,500 to the team, right?
Yeah. So whatever you get after that, you'll get 50% of. But if it's something like, it's just like a shoe or something like that, like, they're not going to do that with one athlete. That's wishful thinking. But let's just say they want to do the league will then get that sponsorship and they will supply us with jerseys, cleats, whatever, and probably not give us money, but they're going to give us the coverage to wear their stuff. Because though, like, for us, it costs on a shoestring budget, if you want to have a women's football team, you could probably do it for $10,000 for the season, but you're not doing nothing with that $10,000 because, again, Pittsburgh Passion, we're a different tier team. We have things, we look professional. We are all grouped together. We have the same warm-ups. We have the same bags. We have the same this. Our lodging's paid for. We go somewhere. We're charter bus. Some teams don't have that. Some teams like, you know what? Give us $300. Get your own equipment. Maybe go to this outfitter, get your jersey. No name on the back of your jerseys. Nothing's monogram. I mean, I played for 6 seasons. I have 6 coats. Every year I got new warm-ups. Every year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like what you want to put in it. I'm going to tell you this from us. We were spoiled. We're a spoiled team. So when we start in January, the first week of January, usually 3rd or 4th, first week of practice, boom, football's in. Most people are outside scraping off fields and shoveling fields to play. We're indoor on an indoor turf. Turf time is expensive. Now, if you want to make some money, get an indoor turf field. But you're talking about every night, 2 to 3 nights out of the week from January to July, we're paying turf time. Turf time will range from anywhere from $300 to $600 per night. So just because, like, it costs money to run this team, you see what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh my gosh, you're going to get 50% of the other money. At least you get something because, again, this is a sport right now. We don't have the luxury as men. We pay to play, but we're paying to play a sport that we love. Yeah. So it does sound weird. Like, hold up, so you get a team 50%? Yeah, we still got to operate. I mean, and again, with Pittsburgh Passion, we never had a game that was not televised. We were the first female team to play live on ESPN.
Absolutely.
We always had it televised. Like we went from like, oh, mom and pop, okay, we're televised, but it's late. We were playing live. Yeah. Like, so here, Root Sport caught our games live. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was different. If anything, we were televised the very next day. But when I say graphics in the game, if you looked it up, like even when Montreal came to play, Canadian team, it's set up like they have instant replay. It's deep, but it's one of those ongoing questions and arguments of like, well, why would you do it then?
Okay.
Are playing back in the 30s, you know?
And from me, as a mere plebeian, just trying to look at it, you know, I'm like, would LeBron give part of his Nike deal to, you know,
but
Lakers?
Hey, it's different. Yeah.
And I was like, that's why I was like, wait a minute. That's why I was trying to comprehend it. It wasn't me being facetious or anything. It was just like,
it's just like, it's hard.
Yeah. I was like,
I didn't know that. I'm like, they paid to play.
Yeah.
And it's only 8 games and it's only in the fall. Is it only in the fall or is it
spring? So it doesn't interfere with anything else. So
it's only the spring, right?
For a college, or not even a college, but for an NFL team to take every female team in their state, like their largest team, and to just back them, to give them $2 million as a write-off would be humongous and huge for the women athletes. Even if you paid me $20,000 for that 8-game season, that's decent. Because all of us are working moms, full-time employed. You talk about from doctors, lawyers, we had state troopers on our team, paramedics, like, you know, we had everything you think of, undertakers. They was on the team. So we're coming from full work, rolling a big football bag with heels on, clank, 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 a suit. You know, you get in there, boom, 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 change. Game time is, I don't know.
Okay. So now when I was looking, it was like, you know, you were very fast. You know, and I'm looking like, stop finishing off her runs, but now I'm listening to you. It's like, no, I'm a track runner. I was like, okay, I can see that. But
running back too, right? Running back.
Yeah, she's running back.
Running back, yeah.
And I'm even looking like, you know, was those new rules or old rules? Because I'm like, you can't wear number 11 as a running back. It's like that's wide receiver's number. Yeah, no, now you can. Nah, before you couldn't.
Oh yeah.
This year.
Like running back. That was my level. A couple of times.
Hold up,
you can still be a running back. You just got to be in a slot a couple of times. Like, so what? Put me out there. I ain't gonna catch nothing.
Yeah, I got you. So now you're out there. You're playing against you know, everyone. And the first thought I came to mind, I said, man, I hope somebody's videotaping this. You know, because I thought about the movie League of Their Own. And I was like, you know, this would make a great movie per se. Mm-hmm. So making sure that it's being documented, because right now, when you just mentioned that each team could, you know, really sponsor a state team or an area, I said that would be awesome, but it will also look like the WNBA. And I said the WNBA, they're having some issues with that because
they still not getting paid for what them women are worth. And so, like, I have a cousin, Shatori Walker Kimbrough. She plays in the WNBA, but guess what she's playing when she's not playing in the WNBA?
Overseas?
She's overseas. Like right now, she's in Afghanistan somewhere.
But okay, that's a hard topic.
Like she had to live, like, because they're paying these girls to play ball. You telling me I'm only worth 50, 60,000? I might as well go work a 9 to 5.
Very true.
Say that.
You feel me?
Very
like
true.
It's like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not fair.
Right.
Yeah,
but that's another story for another time. But women's football,
right.
30s, the 30s, bro. Like women's football has been around that long. I mean, there was times in the Ebony Jet caught up on the speed. They was Center magazine spills on women's football, but it went away after that. It came back.
Yeah.
You know, late 90s, it became a big push. Well, 70s, it was a push again. But you talk about 40s, wartime, boom, our men are away. Like, you know, women are now playing those men's sports to bring livelihood and happiness back to the States. We had to do something. We picked up the slack. This is women typically do. Make things right.
And we still picking up the slack. So I'm going to shout out to Miss Jennifer King. You know what I mean? First NFL coach. African American woman. Come on, man.
Okay.
Go pick it up. They're gonna make it happen, and they still making moves.
Okay. No, I'm still on the league.
Callie Brownson is an administrative position right now with the Cleveland Browns. Play football with T Divas. I know Callie personally. I mean, we have a lot of things going on. There's a couple of girls that are still coaching. One of the girls, oh goodness, now I forgot her name, escapes me. Goodness, Blashko. First name is Stephanie Blashko. She coaches for the Pittsburgh Steelers. She's still there on as a defensive coach. You know, so we're pushing some boundaries and shaking a lot of trees and starting to make some noise. Because at the end of the day, yeah, I'm a woman, but can I coach football? Absolutely. Jen Walter, she went and she played arena ball. Did I think that she was crazy? Heck yeah, I would never. And her team was ignorant. They didn't even try to like protect her all the time. So, you know, they would do crazy stuff to Jen, but Jen went through and she played. Jen ended up being a coach with the Cardinals for a little bit. But again, when they talk to these women, they know the sport. You cannot deny that from them as a coach. And the dudes will tell you like, yo, when I first seen her, like, what? And then when she started coaching, like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like, because we were open. You have to remember, some of us got to play as kids. Some of us didn't. So the ones that didn't and want to play now, you're open book. So therefore, we're taught heads up. We're taught proper technique. We're not going out there being being dumb and hurting other people, paralyzing folk because it's a good hit. That's not a good hit. Like, why would you want to hurt someone like that? Like, you could take down a person, still give a good, solid technical hit because it's going to sound hard. Them pads is going to clink. It's going to sound hard. But that's what everybody's looking for. It's like, oh, take your head off, son. No, please keep your head up and come through and form tackle properly. But that's what the girls learn, because when I started playing, I did not know what anybody else was doing. I just learned for 20-something. What am I doing? I didn't know where my line was. I didn't know where my receivers was. So by the time I became my 4th and 5th and 6th season, I knew where everyone was. Like, boom, I know my X is running this route, my Y is running this route, and I got a pulling guard, and I knew everything was going, so I could read it better. So essentially, like, we're blank slates, and to download that into these women, and all you know is like good technique. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some horrible coaches out there that still teach bad technique, bad habits, bad attitudes, but I was blessed to be a part of a franchise that wasn't like that. You know, came from integrity. That was the biggest thing on our team. Integrity. Like, what are you off the field? And we always say, oh, you need to, you know, you playing a sport, but what life lessons is happening, you know?
Okay.
So
now my question, how would you guys retain? Because do they still do, not still, but what if a player says, I'm not playing for this team, I'm moving over here because my friend's over here, and I believe they could just do that? So there's no like trading clause or anything like that? They just like...
It would behoove you to stay the whole season and then go somewhere else. I wouldn't jump ship in the middle of the season. It's just not going to be... You can be like, I guess, blacklisted for that. Like, people wouldn't want to take you on their team. Like, okay, what is she really about? Is she just chasing championship rings? Like, so she's on the hottest team because it's a championship team. Yeah. And that would take a lot of energy. Like, I'm going to Texas and like, or am I going to move to DC and now play for DC Divas?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Because like, I already see, where it's coming, whereas maybe the intramural sports in certain schools, bigger schools, so you can have a larger pool, because I see that that's an easy, fix for having new and more upcoming talent, because, you see that women in football generate so much money. And that's why the NFL has done so much, in the last 10 years to actually bring awareness to breast cancer and cancer research, as well as domestic violence. They're not the best because it's a violent sport, and some players are doing some things, to not, lift the banner up. However, you see the NFL, like they already did the demographics. It's like, look, we got more women watching football than almost men. So we have to make jerseys for women. We have to make it more appealing to women. So I kind of see that's going to be like that could be an easy next step for the NFL. And the NFL, basically everybody gets in line. So that's what colleges are doing. And I'm like, if they have a space in an intramural, and that's where the I think conflict, even my personal conflict of, okay, if you're not going to watch it, why should I watch it? And that's why I feel it's like more women should watch it, support it, whereas I don't see that, because I say that with basketball, any sports. Why are you not wearing the Air Lisa Leslie's, but you're going to wear the Air Jordans? Why are you not wearing the Air Candace Partners, but you're wearing the LeBrons? Like, support yours, and then the pay will come right with it. So that's where I am. So now we have to start wrapping it up, but I got some things I need to ask you about. Because we ain't really talk about, how you got a son and a husband. We talked a little, we touched on it. We knew that, we heard that you had an engagement. Happened after the second engagement. So now, how did you meet your husband, and how did that happen? And did he see you on the football field? And that one right there. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't looking like that one. Yeah, she'll make some good runs.
He was a creeper, because my Facebook had been deactivated for like 2 years, and I was like battling with Facebook because I was old school. When I was in college, Facebook rolled out when I was in college. So only initially Facebook was for collegiate connections.
Yeah,
internet.
Right. It's classmates.com.
Yeah, you literally had to have a collegiate email address to be able to get on the Facebook. So I had mine since college. I had mine at WVU. But then it got hacked. And I think my teammate, one of my best friends, she had posted a picture of us. I was saying something dumb to her, and they was trying to wrap up, but I'm like, and I'm looking at her side view. Hair's a hot mess. And I'm saying something to her, and she's laughing shut up, chick. And I'm looking and he seen that picture, inboxed my friend, was like, yo, who's that girl in that picture? She's like, oh, that's Chick. I need to meet her. I want to take her out. So she came, she's like, but she had told me, this is crazy, probably 3-4 years prior to that. She's like, oh my gosh, Chick, when she first met, she was like, there's this dude from my hometown. He a little short shit. He cute. He's a boxer. Y'all look so cute together. I was like, boxer? I was like, he still box professionally? She was like, yeah. I was like, I'm not interested. I don't do professional athletes. I'm good.
Whoa. You're a professional athlete. How shall you ever discriminate? Why would you discriminate?
All my friends are league and everything. Messy. I don't have time. Messy. Good.
So okay.
When you retire, come holler at me when you're retired.
Gotcha.
So ironically, he was retiring. And so my girlfriend was like, oh yeah, you should I was like, all right, I'll go on a date with him. It was Valentine's Day. 2013 or 2012 maybe. I was like, I'll go. I was kind of coming out of a relationship this dude is blowing me So I was like, I'll meet up with him. I met up with him at the casino. We kicked it. I was like, oh, he kind of cute, funny looking, but whatever.
You called your husband funny looking? Bro,
yeah. I was like, yeah. And so like we started kicking it.
He's like, something right though.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna I was like, you don't have to do all that if you just trying to get in my pants. Like, bro, like we're adults. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy
you don't got to do. Yeah, that's crazy. You just said that. Like that line. Like I'm gonna repeat it. So I want to make sure you said that. You said you don't got to do all that to get in my pants. Like what?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, whatever I'm planning to do, I'm an adult. And I'm figuring like, you're something to do for the moment. And he gets so mad. I tell everybody, like, he was supposed to be like not really so much of a jump off, but it was just something to do. It wasn't like it was a plan for like future endeavors.
Okay, wait a minute. All right. Okay.
And he laughed. He's like, I saved you. I'm like, no, I saved you.
You can't do me like this now. Wait a minute. You just called your husband to jump off?
Yeah, he was supposed to, it wasn't supposed to be like that. Kind of snuck in there. We started kicking it. And then he met my mom. He's like, I'm her boyfriend. Everybody was like, I spit my drink. I was like, what the hell? I was like, huh? Boyfriend? I'm like, boyfriend. He's a friend. My mom was like, we don't know nothing about you. You know?
You're speaking like he the chick. Like right now, I'm messed up right now. I promise you, I'm so like you are speaking like I'm in a twilight zone. Like, yeah, you know, that was supposed to be a jump off. You know, he ain't supposed to be my mom. Like you, like straight up is the dude in the relationship.
She said she was straight up. She said she feel it like it is, and you might not like it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, girl, we girls, we have thoughts like y'all too. We might not always say it, but you know, we got to, you know.
That's how I operate. I was grown. I'm like, look, I'm so over this whole little love thing and all that. It's corny. And I'm good.
But it worked out.
Yeah, it did. He snuck in there. And just
snuck in there. Oh, that's what he did.
Yeah, with him, with friends, like we could kick it and talk about anything, and so like I could be my authentic self, and like he made me really laugh. Most guys is like they corny or they're trying to impress you or they're trying. He is corny. Take that back. He's corny, but he's funny, and I love him.
Right.
They go corny. He's like, what? Shut up. Like, but that's where we like was just like we just vibed, and it was just like, dude. And then so we started talking about. I was like, well, I mean, if you really want to get married, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it. I'm not finna be engaged for no years. And he had already been through the ringer. He was a mess. Let's put it that way. Because again, he was a professional athlete. He was an 8-time world champion, boxing champion. He was a welterweight. Or no, was he feather? I don't even know what he was. What is 125?
That's welterweight.
Light feather, something of that. Yeah. So that's what he did. So, you know, he had girls just, you know, he could say boo and they dropping the draws anyways. I'm like, ew, boo, who are you? Like I was real.
Oh, he was grown. Yeah. He had options.
Happened. Fast forward, we got married after we dated for a while. And then I was like, boom, if we're going to get married, let's get married. So like 13 months later, we was married. A year later, I was playing my final year because he never really agreed with football. He told me that it's not a woman's sport. A real lady wouldn't play football. And I said, if that's how you feel, you shouldn't marry me because it's a part of me. So it was a lot of hurts and growing pains with that. But then he started seeing, and I never forget, he came to the field like when we had started playing. We shared a field with our soccer team here in Pittsburgh, the Riverhounds, and we helped build that field. So we had signage everywhere, and that was also, I think, a year prior to that, Franco Harris then became a co-owner. And when we welcomed him into the family, it's just so funny. My husband came to the game and they were like in the bar area and him and Franco were hanging out. So I remember him posting something on his socials, like his Insta, talking about, oh yeah, two legends hanging out. I'm like, you're at my game. # Pittsburgh Passion, at Pittsburgh Passion. So,
okay.
So, yeah, it was like cute because he didn't want it. He told me, I'm not going to be no football husband. I'm not going to be a football dad. What do I look like with a baby in the stands and a baby bag? I'm like the other husbands that follow their wives. I have girls that I know, their daughters never knew anything else but mommy playing football. They're in high school now. They never knew their mom any other way. Like, how awesome is that? So the second championship we played, boom, when I was first with him, got one championship ring. Next year, we were getting married. Got T-shirts made. It was like, my chick bad. He's like, but you're getting married. Like, how can you wear this shirt? # Team Kimbrough, you know? So we had those shirts made, and second championship, we won. Great fight. Great physical game. Was amazing. I had like a glass of champagne, a shot of something, had pizza, dehydrated, of course. So, you know, everybody's like, okay, I'm going to bed. Next day, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good by Monday. We were back and ran. At that time, I was like, go get a pregnancy test. He was like, well, let's just get one. I don't feel good. Like, I can't be hungover enough. Man, that stick said pregnant so quick. I gave it to him, and this boy was going to look at me. Now, mind you, he has 2 children outside of our marriage before we got married. I said, yo, I'm pregnant. He was like, oh, I'm happy for you. And I'm looking at this thing like, you.
Us,
like,
me.
You.
He was in shock. But then it became a thing, but it was so funny. So then we get back to Pittsburgh. I set up an appointment. I'm 8 weeks pregnant. I was playing in the championship game pregnant as heck.
Wow.
And the doctor was like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. You could have played your first trimester. It wouldn't have mattered because my body was already used to being hit, jarred, and the baby's so small at that point in time. It would have had to take some crazy laceration of my stomach or my spleen, like somebody like stomping me out, which was very to have any of those injuries playing football and as a running back. And I run so low. There was nobody going to like pop at me. I'm not going up in the air and getting hit in the back or nothing crazy. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. Right, that's baby number one and with the baby number two.
Daughter, baby number one, she's a little off. She's a little rattled.
Oh, okay.
She has a lot of unharnessed leadership. She don't have a. She doesn't
like how you said that. Unharnessed leadership.
Unharnessed, that's good.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna use that in education. Unharnessed leadership. Yes,
yeah. So she's my first, and like she does have her own issues. I mean, she does, like right now we're in the process of just figuring her out. Like she does have some sensory issues, but she's not, from what we know, she's not on the spectrum. So it's funny, like some of the stuff that triggers her, we're like, what? But, and it changes. I can laugh about it. It's funny, but not funny. And if you ever have a kid or you know a family that has a kid with sensory problems, you just never know what you're going to get. It's like a gamble every day. Like what's going to bother? So that's been a challenge. But then fast forward, I'm like, look, dude, let's just deal with this kid. And we're going to just, live this life. I was like, okay, do we want to have another baby? Because now at this point, my daughter's 3, looking rotten as hell. And I'm like, dude, she might need a sibling now, rotten. And everybody's like, just have another baby. It might help. So we had my son and they were night and day. But now he's in this terrible too. So, they're about the same right now. But, but yeah, that's all that happened. But, yeah.
Okay. So before we go, we have this thing called rapid fire. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Yeah, you can say one
more thing. We didn't mention that she did get into the Hall of Fame. I wanted to say that before we get to our rapid fire.
What Hall of Fame? Which one?
The
West Virginia Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame, Ball State Hall of Fame. Like which one? Which Hall of Fame? I have no idea.
So, no, I was telling. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was telling you, go ahead and tell him.
Okay. Like, so initially, it was my last year plan. They have something, there is like these talk show hosts that go around and it's done by Adam Levine and Adam Talking Machine. So I forgot his real host name, but anywho, these other dudes, they decided to put together a panel for Hall of Fame sports, and they picked a lot of different people, little known people. I was chosen for that. And then they also then turned around this year and had a big thing for women of excellence. And it wasn't just sports. It was women that have done things in the community that were just crazy. And, it took me, I'm a very humble person, and I'm only going to say this once, and this is the only time you ever want to hear me brag on myself. So I still do hold the record for the 100 and 200 meter dash in the state of West Virginia. It's been standing there it's going to be 22 years coming up if no one breaks them.
What's the number? What's the number?
100. The 200 time to me was slow, but I guess it was like only low 25s or something. It wasn't sub 25 or nothing crazy. It wasn't like 24s or 23s or nothing like that. But I think it was like low 25s. It might be a high 24. I'm not sure. I don't even know the times. That's how much I. So the 100 meter dash. Now the sad thing is, I ran that 11.9 to get that scholarship at Marshall in West Virginia. But when States came, I only ran like a 12.01 or 2 or something stupid. And I was like, oh, that's so dumb. I couldn't really smash the record, but those are the things. But it took me until now to understand how good of a football player I was. I thought, I'm good. But when I had to think about it, we played a 50% offense, 50 passing, 50 on the ground running, And it took, from my last interview I had with Tony Williams, he was like, well, Chick, I just don't get it. Like, how do you not think you're the best? I was like, I'm good. Like, I'm all right. He's like, Chick, you ran a 50% offense spread, okay? And then on top of that, you weren't always running the ball that whole portion of the 50%. I had to share that time with another back. Right. So maybe a quarter out of all of it. So I'm looking at an 8-game season rushing 900 yards. How is that possible? I guess that is kind of dope. I was like,
The issue is, why were you sharing time? That's the real question.
Because again, we're paying to play. The real question, at the end of the day, we're going to win championships. But if we're up 20, 30 points, I'm not playing. They're not going to keep me in the game.
Okay,
gotcha.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm play. Now, if it's a tight game, I might play, but I'm going to get tired. So, I can't run every run and be healthy. And I mean, you still got, when you talk about these girls, like, okay, yes, women's football. You ever seen a lineman woman?
Yeah, they did.
They still pushing 5'10", 5'11", 300 pounds, 250. They on the line. I call them my hogs, and they can move too. Don't let the big ones. They catch you with the wearing size 13s, okay?
Yeah,
that's
and
big
and then falling on your little 5'2" self.
And I used to hate big linemen. Why you gotta fall so sloppy? Dang it! Like I used to hate them sloppy linemen. Like why you got to fall like that? Like extra. That's got both my jacked up ankles. Man, tore me up for wearing my stilettos. Like, come on, y'all messing up the game.
I gotta be cute after this. I still gotta be cute after this.
Listen, I stayed in some heels. Now my ankle be hurting, be popping. My husband like, when you go put on them heels, boy? Go in with the heels on back.
Okay. So
okay. You got it. Okay.
So I got some questions, right? You can pick either or. You can say both or neither. Okay. All right. So for the track, I have Gail Devers or FloJo.
FloJo.
Carl Lewis or Usain Bolt.
Carl Lewis.
Adam Pac-Man Jones or Steve Slayton.
I went to school with both of them.
I know.
Adam's a real good friend, so Adam, because he's
Okay. Serena Williams or Simone Biles.
Serena.
Okay. Ali or Tyson.
Ali.
Randy Moss or Jerry West.
Moss.
And Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders.
Emmitt.
Okay. All right.
That was good. That was good. That was good. That was good.
Like, some of the stuff was predictable.
Okay. You know why I picked them? You gonna ask me that?
Yeah, hold on. Well, no, go ahead. Tell us. Tell us why you picked them.
For most of outside of Adam. And Adam still has integrity. Don't get me wrong. I love you, bro. Like, you my heart. We still talk from that every now and then. We still keep in touch. But integrity, man. Them old school players, it was just so much different with them, and they overcame a lot. And Adam, for him to be so young, he'd been through a lot. Personal story, on the field, off the field, he has grown so much, and I'm so proud of him. That's why I chose him. Not saying that Steve Slayton is taken away from him as an athlete, but Adam has been through some things, and I'm proud of that boy. Like, he still turned it around,
Listen. Cause are you looking to coach? Because one of your classmates, he's coaching at Alcorn State.
At who state?
Alcorn State, HBCU down in, I believe, Mississippi. Alcorn, Mississippi.
There's a lot of people that are coaching, but I don't know.
No. He's the head coach there, and he was the quarterback. Steve Slate. What is his name?
I don't know.
The right of Steve Slate. I got it.
Pat White?
Pat White, excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pat White's head coach at Alcorn State.
Yeah, I forgot where he went. I did see that he had posted that on socials. I was like, oh, congrats on your show. I know Pat.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, because a lot of media attention is getting covered down in the SWAC conference because of Deion Sanders and what he's doing down here. And what do you feel about the number one recruit going to, Jackson State instead of Florida State?
Guess what? Whoever's paying them bills and whatever is going to happen as far as for an athlete, like some people get kind of all caught up in that, but you don't know what's going on in the background. So it could be a lot of like, just how's he going to fit with the culture there? How's he going to fit with the team? Because he had a chance to meet, obviously, teammates, and a family factor plays a big role in that.
Okay. Because my thought process is West Virginia said, okay, you have Marshall, West Virginia, but let's just say if Howard came to you and said, we wanted to bring you, would you have considered them as well?
I wanted to go to Howard. Howard didn't have any money for me.
Okay. So it's about.
But I wanted to go to the HBCU, and they had my major, and I could stay there through undergrad to graduate school. Again, I was still geared towards academics. What do you have for me? this is my major. My major is archaeology. So can I go to Howard? Yes. And study with some of the greatest Black archaeologists? Heck yeah, I was going to HBCU.
Okay. So it's about the butt. And I understand.
Yeah.
I do understand.
But they could have paid for me. See, they couldn't pay for me, but I could have went, but I didn't have the money. So again, who was paying the bill? And still has my major.
Understand totally. Me, I just went because I had to leave. I said, forget the money. So I do understand. Truly do. So Miss Kimbrough, it's great. It was kind of wild where I figured out who your husband was. I was like, oh yeah, he was a champion. I know exactly who that is. You know, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was kind of smooth the way you like, nah, I ain't even talking about that. you talk to him a little like a buster, but it's kind of cool.
I'm looking at his picture. So when I was looking at his little pictures, he got a picture up here with Sugar Ray. I'm just cracking up. I just be laughing at the pictures. Like, we still talk to certain people. Like, he's still really close with Roy. So if we're watching a fight, we got to talk to Roy. Roy got to see the kids, and you know, it's kind of funny. And so it's just funny. I still talk to Adam. I still check with him, see how his wife and the kids are doing. And when he used to screw up, when we first got out, I'm like, what is your problem? Like, if you had that, I'm like, check out, you can't read everything, you can't believe everything. I'm like, you need to get it together. You know, that friend. I was that sound friend and calling you, snapping all the way out. Like, and every time you change your number, dude, I'm going to find you. And because we'd either text like, oh, hit me up. Or, you know, because every time he still came into Pittsburgh, we still like link up, me, him, Vaughn Rivers, a lot of other teammates and people we've been around, Rasheed Marshall, because we all came in together. Quincy, which he was coaching down at State for a while. I think he's still down there. No, he took a new job. But Quincy Wilson, he's from Weirton, West Virginia, actually. And he was a running back at WVU.
Yeah. And my boy, he went up to Canada. I was really a fan of his. Noel Devon.
Coburn? Oh yeah, I was about to say a lot of people went to Canada, and I used to have them be like, "Oh, they got our rejects." Like we used to say that West Virginia would get rejects. Be like, "Oh, he couldn't make it in Florida. That's how we got him at WVU." Like,
I had a gang of Florida cats. Absolutely, had everybody from Florida.
It'd be like Georgia and Florida. Like, y'all was rejects. What happened that you couldn't stay in your state? They'll tell me the truth.
It was like, it's so country away, y'all can't get in trouble. It's hard to get in trouble. And we got a plethora of white girls around us.
Right. It is crazy. Even being here as an athlete, like you still surround yourself with other athletes. So it was like nothing, like it was always like 2 degrees of separation. You know how they go. So like, one of my friends knew this player. Ironically, he played for the Steelers. We became good friends. I was friends with all the linemen. So I used to go out with all the linemen, right? They would shoo me away from all the like young players. I'm like, oh, I be trying to look cute. You know, dark wasn't always in. So, you know, they was looking at my light skinned girlfriend. I'm like, look at her. But trying to say, dark wasn't always in. Ask my friend. I was like, Trey. He was on the line. I'm like, Trey, what's wrong with me? He's like, Chick, nothing's wrong with you. You're just too serious. And it's not going to happen with any of these dudes. They're not serious. And I was like, am I not cute? He was like, no, you cute. But it was just so funny. We all like meshed. And it's like always, and that person knew somebody I went to grad school with. It was like nuts. Oh, and that's how I ended up. He was supposed to be my mentor. Really wasn't much of a mentor. He used to just beat me up every time he seen me. Tell me like, oh, you need to do this, or you're not doing enough of this. I'm like, Jerome, seriously? And I used to mess with this one, Blackberries. Real quick, the funniest story ever, because he was at Notre Dame when Bobby Howard was at Notre Dame, but he was a senior. Right. They kind of had passing. So I was like, that's crazy. You play with, he was like, yeah. Small world. A joint friend, which was Cliff Stroud, which was crazy because it was a friend that I had here that I met in Pittsburgh. That was her cousin. So that's how I met Jerome. And then we just clicked. And I used to mess with him all the time. I'm like, you're just mad because your thumb pads are too big. He was like, what are you saying? I was like, you can't text on that Blackberry. Big thumb. Let me text you and see what you're going to respond. He's like, there you go. You got jokes. Because we used to meet up at his restaurant. So Bettis Grill, he has a restaurant here. So I used to meet up with them all the time. And he would try to mentor me, if you will. But we didn't go that far. That's super dope. That's some great experiences, man. Just connection, small world, network, all of that. That's blessings. You know what I mean? So, anything else you got before we get ready to head out of here?
Listen, we gotta go. I still had the whole bunch of thousand. Yeah. We do a part 2? Yeah. Because, I wanted to see the woman's perspective, how you feel about, coaching at the next level, a little bit more, the WNBA.
We can do it. We can do a part 2.
Yeah. So it was some things I wanted to touch on because, you know, like being a former male chauvinist, you know, God got me back. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah, I said former.
Hey, yes, Jesus, on a Sunday, yeah.
I'm a former male chauvinist, you know.
Former.
I got 3 daughters. You can't be a male chauvinist anymore. Like, I don't know if you know.
He's just undercover. He's a down low male chauvinist.
Oh, shit, down low. That is fly. Okay, that's yours, but I like it.
All right.
You're a down low chauvinist. Like, yeah. But at the same time, reformed everything. So it was a pleasure talking to you. I think the audience learned a lot about you. You know, I was trying to get the details about your life, not just the highlights of like how you became you, the journey that you went on. So I think we told a great story. And you know me, and I love your personality. Now your hair is looking nice. I'm just gonna put it out.
Thank you. It's all mine.
It's all hers.
No tracks.
We didn't
get my peppers.
We just let you know it's all hers.
We're not disrespecting no women. See, that's why.
We don't disrespect
it's hers.
Yours too, but I'm just saying everybody always like, where you get your bundles at?
My mom,
no, it's
mom
the Indian.
from the crib.
It's the real Indian
from the crib.
American, and my mom's black. Yeah, so
yeah, we got my man.
Big,
okay, got you. So go ahead.
Well, I know I was just going to say, I thank you too, Ciara. I appreciate it. Knowing her since she was young, you know what I mean? That Ciara she's talking about. Yeah, my mom used to babysit her back in the day. And, you know, I'm really proud of you. I really am. And we've never gotten to have that conversation of just getting out of Rand, do what you got to do, going to school, and just never looking back and just kept moving forward. You know what I mean? So I respect you for that. You know what I mean? You set a good example for the other girls just from West Virginia, just in the neighborhood. You, Lexus Hornbuckle, both of y'all went out. Y'all did y'all thing. You know what I mean? They're from West Virginia as well. You know what I mean? So shout out to you. And there's more.
Now part owner. Can you believe that?
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I said Montgomery. I said Renee.
Yes, Montgomery. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I'm so sad. So you want to sleep on West Virginia? But we got.
Oh, I ain't sleeping. I just said y'all different. No, y'all different.
Okay.
No, we're not different.
We still taking names.
Y'all different.
Raising bars.
Like, did I not say y'all was different? I might have mentioned that.
Not different. She didn't say. What'd you say was the key word? You said it wasn't different. You said
awkward. Which one you want? I got some more synonyms.
No,
awkward,
forget
different,
it. We don't need no more synonyms. Forget it.
You know,
anyway,
strange, adjacent. Like, I can give you something if you want now. It's cool, though.
This guy's crazy.
You know, like,
appreciate you. Want a shout out to your family and everything. Much love to the family. Mr. Kimbrough, thank you so much, Ciara. We probably need to do a part 2. Maybe we can get the hubs on for part 2. You never know. You know what I mean? Get him on or something.
Wow, he's a wild one. Yeah, he would eat it up.
You are.
Yeah.
All right, then. So thank you so much. We're signing off for KROSS BARZ. Make sure you find us on Instagram, YouTube, website, KROSS BARZ. Ciara, where can we find you?
Yeah, where we can find you at?
Oh, my socials are simple. I'm chick_WV on Instagram.
Chick_WV. All right, go ahead.
I have Twitter. I don't tweet. That was so like whatever ago, you know.
Yeah, I'm not a tweeter. I'm there, but I don't tweet much.
Yeah, I don't tweet. I used to connect all of my socials across the line, but now I do maintain my daughter's social. She wants to be an Instagram model. So she models limitedly, obviously, when she feels like it, because she's still 5. But yeah.
Look at old falling over. He's falling off.
Oh.
Well, we'll check out chick_WV on Instagram. Check her out, y'all. Follow her. Shout her out. And that's all we got for today. So signing off from KROSS BARZ. Yeah. Much love for you.
I'm about to be friends right now.
Peace.
Right? Tell your husband don't beat me up. Peace.